Hello, welcome back to English Now. This is our last unit, Unit 30. Can you believe it? Time flies. This is what we are going to do today. We'll revise some of the grammatical structures that we've studied in this course. We'll talk about ways to say that something has finished. Pronunciation. We'll see some words derived from French and how that influences their pronunciation. We'll talk about memories. We'll discuss suggestion boxes and we'll study some reporting verbs. Are you ready for our last lesson together? Of course you are. If you've made it this far, you're ready for anything. Let's do it. Since this is our last unit, we'll start with a review of some of the uses of the verbal tenses in English and that English students usually have trouble with. So this lesson is going to be a mix of contents that will be very useful for you. Don't miss it. As an English teacher, I want my students to feel confident about themselves and their English. That's why I insist that repetition is very important to interiorize what you've studied. And since I know what kind of things you find more difficult in English, today we're going to revise some of them. Let's start with the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. We use the present perfect simple to talk about actions in the past that are relevant in the present. This is the structure: subject plus auxiliary verb to have plus past participle. For example, I have talked to your mother. He has gone to work. They have eaten the pizza. Now imagine that I go to the dentist. My appointment is at 5 o'clock, but it's 7 o'clock and I'm still waiting. How would I express this? I'd use the present perfect continuous and say, I have been waiting here for 2 hours. So this is an action that started in the past and that is still in progress. That's why we use the present perfect continuous. This is the structure: subject plus auxiliary verb to have plus been plus verb in ing form. More examples. We have been working since last evening. She has been living in Rome for a year. You have been singing since we got in the car. Good. I also wanted to remind you that in English we use the past simple to talk about completed actions that happened today. I wouldn't say, I have eaten some cereal for breakfast. I'd say, I ate some cereal for breakfast. More examples. I replied to your email this morning. She went home 10 minutes ago. We talked to her when she arrived. Next, present simple with when. We use the present simple to talk about the future with words like when. For example, when I'm 60, I'll buy a house near the beach. I'll call you when I arrive home. Close the door when you leave. Let's talk about the future now. We use the future simple to talk about things that will happen in the future. For example, it will rain tomorrow. We will go to France next week. She will send you an email tomorrow. We can also talk about the future with going to. We use this option when we talk about plans and intentions. Do you remember the structure? subject plus auxiliary verb to be plus going to plus main verb in infinitive. For example, we are going to watch a film tonight. He is going to take some Chinese classes. Are you going to have a beer later? And we can also talk about the future with present continuous. We use this tense to talk about things that will happen for sure, like planned events. His band is playing on Saturday at a rock festival. The train is leaving in 2 minutes. I'm meeting Lewis in a cafe. Sometimes you can use the future with going to or the future with present continuous. So don't worry too much if you can't decide which option to use. In many cases, both of them will be correct. Okay, I think that was enough revision. Remember, you can check the books again if you have any doubts. I'll see you in a minute in lesson 2.
Pay attention to these sentences. She has 2 sisters. She's got 2 sisters. Both formulas are correct. But what if we turn these sentences into questions? We could say, has she got 2 sisters? Does she have 2 sisters? But we could never say, has she 2 sisters? No, that's incorrect. If you say has, you need to say got 2. Yes, questions can be tricky, but it's all about practice.